Make sure you tune in to the Sentinel High School Video Art Show during the Sentinel High School Hour. Tuesday, March 21st at 7 p.m. and again on Thursday, March 23rd at 5 p.m. You don't want to miss out on the extremely talented Sentinel High School Hour right here on MCAT.
Take him in! Ray! this film taken by Wright himself, and a few dozen photographs. The Larkin Company of Buffalo, New York, was the first mail order firm, serving the
waste your time. Let him die. You damn Jews.
Does it?
How do you feel about Mexicans?
Send this big black back where they belong. Damn right, pick your scoops.
How do you feel about lesbians?
I hate them damn times. Kill them.
These are all terms we use for each other. But what we all are is humans. The question I want to ask is why can't we treat each other like humans? Streams I walk with you. Seems I talk to you. Envisioning total corruption and systematic destruction. Conditioned to live one day at a time. Conditioned to think we're going to achieve the mark. Supposedly we think as one, even though the thinking is only begun. The acid-scarred victims of history, to me, are nothing but a mystery. I wasn't born, but shit into existence without resistance. The pieces are falling into place, the picture is becoming clear, reflecting in space, and are now in the looking mirror. But I don't want to go among mad people, Alice remarked. Well, you can't help that, said the cat. We're all mad here. I'm mad, you're mad. How do you know I'm mad? You must be, said the cat.
Damn, there's picking
Zero. Go.
One man falls, just another death occurs. To be safe, it's called an accident for insurance. And then sounds so it seems. And flashback experience in every soldier. One day,
You can't see.
the order would drop their heads in grief and sorrow. Endless races, someone said.
Look at you, Eric, you're like, see us in the
Did you not sit back and observe? Gee, so bad, he looked like a cold drop. Laid on the pavement, blood shot in all directions. Now all the worms crawl in him, teeth of infections. Spread on the ground like a broken jar of mayonnaise, I glanced at him utterly amazed. What's this world coming to? I shouted aloud. As I leaned against the wall, almost beat to death by the crowd.
It just sounds that way. That's the end. Good stuff. Okay, that's cool.
Hi, I'm Kelly Wenz, and these are Journalism 1 stories from Sentinel High School. This story is by Jennifer Parker. On Wednesday, March 15th, Sentinel High School held their second annual talent show. There were 9 acts, and they were a big success. This story is by Melissa Larson and Andrea Thompson. Summer seems to be coming early this year. With the snow off the roads, people are starting to take off their snow tires. With swimsuit weather just around the corner, people are starting to get in shape by jogging, aerobics, or other spring sports, such as rollerblading and biking. As always, along with summer comes tanning. Many people get a head start on tanning by laying in an ultraviolet bed for 20 minutes, 3 or 4 times a week. With all these expenses for getting ready for summer, it's nice to know summer also comes with a money saver. By planting a garden, you save money by not having to buy vegetables all summer, and they may even last into the fall. Here are some tips to a successful diet. Number 1, eat breakfast every day. You'll feel less hungry all day long. 2, exercise. It burns calories. 3, don't give up. If you overeat, just try again. Number 4, eat foods that are low in fat but still taste good. It's hard to stick to a diet if you don't like what you're eating. Number 5, last but not least, don't crash diet. Pick a diet and stick with it. Lose your weight slow and steadily. Praised by Melissa Larson and Andrea Thompson. Missoula's YMCA Special Olympics practices started Saturday the 11th. They will be every weekend until April 22nd. Then there will be an area competitions from the 25th to the 27th. For the past 8 years, YMCA Special Olympics has provided events in track, swimming, horseback riding, and field events. Winners in area receive ribbons. Then some are chosen to move on to state where, if they win, they will receive medals for first, second, and third places. This story is by Gary Truax Jr. The annual Youth Job Fair is back. The Youth Job Fair will be held in the Sentinel Gymnasium on April 26, 1995. If you are looking for a job, this is a great opportunity. There is expected to be about 100 local businesses at the job fair. There should be most of the fast food places, grocery stores, department stores, and other local businesses attending. The fair is sponsored by the Missoula Job Service, Missoula Employers Committee, and high school counselors. There is no charge to attend this event, so if you would like to attend the job fair or have any questions, contact your school counselor. This is a great opportunity for employment, so make sure to contact your school counselor. Stories by Jamie Cooney, Capital Punishment. In the 1990s, 36 states had laws that allowed the death penalty. These laws were greatly influenced by a 1972 decision of the Supreme Court, which banned the death penalty as it was then imposed. The court ruled that the imposition and carrying out of the death penalty was cruel and unusual punishment in violation of the 8th and 14th Amendments. After the 1972 decision, many state legislatures passed new capital punishment laws designed to satisfy the Supreme Court requirements. These laws limit the death penalty to murder and to other specified crimes that result in a person's death. Such crimes include armed robbery, hijacking, and kidnapping. The laws of several states specify the circumstances under which a judge or jury may impose the death penalty. By Jody Sullivan. For more than 2,000 years, the Latin language has been a principal language in the world. However, with the fall of the Roman Empire in 1476 AD, Latin has been progressively less by people. Sentinel High School is no exception, and that is evident in the enrollment of classes. Currently, there are 9 students in Latin 1 and 6 students in Latin 2 at Sentinel. This is compared to 15 in Latin 1 and 12 in Latin 2 during the 1989-1990 school year. So, what is responsible for this decline? Sentinel Latin teacher Cindy Braun speculates that students think it's hard and are thus reluctant to study the language. However, on a difficulty scale of 1 to 10, Braun rates Latin as a 6. Furthermore, students don't see an immediate relevance, and they feel that Latin is useless because a person can't go anywhere in the world and speak the ancient language. Scheduling, too, can be a problem for many. Just cut that. The importance of Latin lies within its depths. Though Latin may not be used extensively, studying it can improve one's vocabulary and grammar, since 65% of English words are derived from Latin. Moreover, while it builds an appreciation of history and ancient culture, the study of Latin promotes thinking, problem-solving, analysis, and memorization. So, one might ask, why take Latin? If not for the mental discipline, keep in mind that Latin students often get chocolate cheesecake and Oreos. Sentinel parking lot to be redesigned. During an interview with Mr. Zinni on March 9, 1995, the student parking at Sentinel was discussed. Sentinel's principal believes that our school has plenty of parking, but it is just not properly used. The administration has considered building a new lot, but decided that the money could be spent better somewhere else. Football, haha. Am I supposed to say that?
No, that was just a little funny joke that I wrote.
Why'd you put it in there then?
Just say it.
Football, haha. This is why the drafting 2 class has redesigned our current parking lot. They have narrowed the spaces, therefore adding approximately 70 more spaces to be painted in with money already set aside. Zinni also suggests that students park further down Bancroft on the Sentinel side. This would require a small walk, but after what Zinni said, we as Montanans think we have to park right in front wherever we're going. Parking at Sentinel is definitely in for a change. March 7th, the Business Lab found a new hobby, linking up NASA's cyberspace program. This program allows internet members to see America's astronauts on the Endeavour spacecraft while they're in space. People from all around the world have linked into this program and enjoyed the pictures and information the internet program provides. This is the first time the internet has been linked with NASA providing virtual reality shots. The only way a computer can link up to the Astro 2 program is with a modem. Recently, the Business Lab was blessed with new equipment, part of which was a new modem. After seeing an article in the Missoulian on Sunday, March 6th, Mrs. Prince decided linking up would be a good project for her students. So on the following Monday, after several tries, the lab linked up with the NASA program, which was already in its 5th day. This was the first real program the lab had gotten into, and Mrs. Prince was glad it was so successful. Sarah Tolson. This year, Sentinel High School has introduced its PE program to new activities. Tumbling is very effective and great to do. Mr. Owens explains, quad ball is new this year. Students enjoy this and feel that it's great. Mrs. Nash explains, it's fun for the students to dunk when able and work as a team. Planned Parenthood is a nonprofit reproductive health care center that offers education, advocacy, and services. Some of the services they provide are pap smears, pelvic and breast exams, birth control information, and supplies pregnancy tests and counseling, HIV tests and abortions, and many other services. All the services they provide are on a sliding fee basis. A person's fee is based on income. When they find out what a person's income is, they assign that person a pay category. Out of all the patients that go to Planned Parenthood, 86% of them are on a sliding fee. Deborah Franson, the executive director of Planned Parenthood, said that most of the patients that come in are at a poverty level or below. The average patient they get is a single 20 to 24-year-old woman with one child that receives some kind of government assistance, but doesn't qualify for welfare. In 1994, Planned Parenthood had 4,849 unduplicated patients. 54 of those patients were 14 and under, and 601 of those patients were 15 to 17, and the rest were ages 18 to 65. Altogether, Planned Parenthood had 8,152 visits to the clinic from patients. Out of these 8,152 visits, 4,496 were sexually transmitted disease counseling sessions. 3,463 visits were for pap smears, 1,495 were for chlamydia tests, and 910 were pregnancy tests. Franson says that the most common method of birth control is the birth control most used is condoms. Franston said that the Missoula County high schools have a great deal of sexual education, but that students usually are informed too late. They also don't get enough education because they don't teach it for a long enough time. Planned Parenthood provides a teen class every Wednesday afternoon at 4 o'clock. It is an anonymous class that has answers for any questions anybody has. Franston says there are many challenges Planned Parenthood has to face in the future. Government grants called Title X is in jeopardy in Washington, D.C. Title X is the money provided by the government that allows them to run the clinic on a sliding fee basis. The money that is provided is going to be cut back. Franston said this is a very bad thing because last year Planned Parenthood prevented 2,085 unplanned pregnancies in 1992. If every year they were to prevent 2,000 unplanned births, they would save the government millions of dollars. They saved the state of Montana $8 million last year alone. Bloom. They slime over the ground but are considered a delicacy by some. Escargot. On Sunday, March 12th, the Sentinel French Club tried this dish at Jeannie Bloom's house. Feelings were very mixed. For Kyle Osley, he had to psych himself for 10 minutes before he popped the food in his mouth and decided it wasn't his thing. But the others bravely ate, deeming the dish less than poisonous. Accompanying the escargot was a cheese fondue, French bread, and vegetables. For dessert, there was a chocolate fondue and fruit crepes. French cookies of Normandy, plus pie and cake. The group played charades in French and watched a form film entitled 3 Men in a Cradle. After a pleasant evening, the party dispersed, but they will never forget the party of snails. April Spear. A Public Service Commission hearing was held in Missoula on March 15th to receive response on the Missoula-bound caller ID telephone feature. At the hearing, 2 people testified against the feature and 5 people testified for it. Caller ID in Missoula will be brought by U.S. West in April. U.S. West predicts that more than 230,000 phone lines would be able to gain the service. However, the national average of people signing up for caller ID when it is available is only 10 to 15%. Caller ID would cost $595. Oh God, not that much. Caller ID would cost $5.95 per month per phone for a name and number of the person calling, and $4.45 per month for just a number. The people testifying for caller ID use much of the same argument. They said that they would have in the past received obscene or prank phone calls. If they were to receive them again, they would know who it was that was calling them. They would also know if a business was calling or just a friend. Another of caller ID's function is that by pushing some buttons, you can put an automatic trace on a phone call for just $1.55. You wouldn't know who it was, but a complaint would show up at the police station and an officer would go to the house the obscene phone call came from. Arguments against caller ID were from people who didn't want to give their phone number out every time they made a phone call. They were afraid that if they called a business, the business would get their phone number, call them, and try to sell them things. However, a person can block an individual call by simply dialing *67 before the phone number at no charge, with or without caller ID. Also, a permanent block can be put on a phone line for no initial charge by U.S. West. PTI already offers caller ID, and they have one additional feature that through US West we wouldn't get. On their system, people who use caller ID can also have an automatic block put on their phone to block calls from other blocked phones. The phone wouldn't even ring. If someone was pranking you from a blocked phone line, you could block that call, your phone wouldn't even ring, possibly in the middle of the night. Missoula interest in caller ID was not shown at the hearing. Of the 12 people who attended, 3 were from neighboring phone companies. 7 people testified for or against it, and the last 2 simply listened and asked questions they might have. Katie Tricay. March 13th through the 15th, tryouts were held for the junior varsity and varsity softball teams. There were 44 girls there to fill between 26 and 30 positions. The girls were evaluated on many things, one of which was hitting. They were pitched 12 balls, 10 to hit and 2 to bunt. The coaches, Burkhart, Nesser, and Henkel, hit pop flies and grounders to test the girls' skills. There were so many girls at tryout that the coaches split the girls into 2 groups. After practice on Monday, the coaches discussed the players until about 9 o'clock that night. On Wednesday, the girls were informed if they made the first cut. The coaches told each girl individually what they needed to improve on, even if they made the team. The coaches made their decisions, and congratulations to the 1994 junior varsity and varsity softball teams.
1995.
Oh. The coaches made their decisions, and congratulations to the 1994 1990. Do it right. The coaches made their decisions, and congratulations to the 1994-1995 varsity and junior varsity softball teams.
Finish it
I
off.
hope you enjoyed our Journalism 1 show from Sentinel High School. And I'm Kelly Wynn, signing off. Just kidding.
Bigger.
This is a juried art show that took place March 3rd at the University of Montana. These are some of the various pieces that were shown at this display.
Got a Come on, class. Sit down. Today, class, we will be studying the Civil War. The Civil War, the Great Civil War. What we need to find out today is who we fought and why we fought this great Civil War.
I know.
Dan?
We fought Vietnam, yeah.
No, Dan. We didn't fight Vietnam. Where have you been?
I had to use the lavatory.
Oh, that's okay. Well, it's a good thing you're here, Catherine. Because you know what, Catherine? Today we are going to study the Civil War. And what I would like to know, what this class needs to know is why we fought the Civil War and with whom.
Well, the southern states left the Union and we fought the South. It was an economic battle.
Thank you, Catherine. That was very good, and that was correct. Let's take a flashback here, folks. The year 1863. North versus South, the Civil War. In 1863, alone, in the famous Battle of Gettysburg, thousands were killed on both sides. Thousands. It was a bloody, bloody battle. Now, have you heard of Frederick Douglass? Perhaps you've heard of... Okay, who broke my pencil? Who broke my pencil? Who broke my pencil? We're not going to continue this class until I find out. Okay, I'm going to leave, and when I come back, I better find out who broke my pencil, or this whole class is going to be in trouble. The whole class.
You did it, Dan. Did what? Fought in the Civil War?
No, you idiot. You broke Mr. Peabody's pencil.
Okay. Who broke my pencil? Dan. Okay. Now we can continue with our class discussion.
Mr. Peabody, where's Vietnam?
Dan, we are not talking about Vietnam. The Civil War didn't occur in Vietnam.
Well, Cody said I fought in the Civil War, and I don't remember fighting.
There's a good reason, Dan. You weren't in you weren't in the Vietnam War. Well, hello, Catherine. How's my favorite student today?
Not so good. I've got two big problems.
Well, would you care to talk about them before the rest of the class gets here?
Well, Dan asked me out and...
Oh. My poor child. He's the only person in class who can't spell his own name. You know, yesterday, he asked me if he was in Genghis Khan's army.
Well, it's not Dan that bothers me so much. Well, I guess sort of. He didn't break your pencil. I did.
Why?
I don't know. Sorry. I guess I deserve some detention.
I don't know.
from JLD News Center. We are here at Sentinel High School, and we are going to be going into a real live classroom where there's a substitute teacher, and we're going to see how the kids are acting.
Howdy, hi, morning. I'm
Where are you, Yankee?
Walter Campbell. I'm the...
Nice ribbon that you're wearing there.
Sit down, I'll be your substitute if I could just get your attention for a minute.
Yeah, you will.
Be a nerd. I don't know the results yet. No, we can do it anytime. He doesn't care. Rather not. We need to get the sign. Sit down, you goof. You smell.
That is the answer. 86/90.
Could I have your...
Why?
Could I have your attention, please? Excuse me. Ladies and gentlemen, please. I can't have you anymore. I'm sorry. Sorry, I can't. I think you need it. I don't know anything we can prove of that. I can't do that. Sorry.
This is Deidre Richardson reporting for JLD News Center. We're here today at Sentinel High School talking to Dave Severson. Hi Dave, how are you today? Good. I wanted to ask you a few questions about substitute teaching. Do you feel that substitute teaching is good for the teachers?
For the teachers or the students?
For both.
For both? Well, it's not the ideal situation, but sometimes the teacher does have to be away from their classroom, and it isn't as good of a situation when the regular teacher's not there.
Do you have to change your agenda for the day when a substitute teacher comes in?
Sometimes.
It happens.
Great deal.
All right. Do you feel that when you were a student teacher, do you feel the teachers, how did the students treat you?
It was pretty difficult. The students test you quite a bit, but that's part of being a student teacher. You have to learn to handle those situations, and I think I did all right with that.
Was there ever a time in your teaching when you were ready to just get up at the classroom and leave?
Sometimes, but you just have to resist that urge to do that and carry on.
All right. Well, thank you for your time. We're here with Mr. Stroup today. We just wanted to ask him a few questions on substitute teaching. Mr. Stroup, do you feel like a regular teacher after having substituted for such a long period of time?
I've been teaching for about 20 years, and sometimes as a substitute and sometimes in my own classroom, and I don't feel much different. I'm here to teach, not to babysit. So I teach the same way all the time, or feel the same way about teaching all the time.
All right. Do you teach your own style, or do you try to adapt to the teacher's style that you're substituting for?
We each have our own style and our own methods. I try and go as far to the end of my methods as I can to be as much like the teacher that as the regular classroom, but I still have to be me.
Would you rather be a full-time student, a full-time teacher, or do you prefer substitute teaching?
I'd like to have my own classroom again.
You would?
But I do enjoy substituting. I've learned a lot substituting. I've had such a variety of experiences.
Well, thank you for your time.
Hi, this is Jennifer Parker reporting from JLD News Center, and we're here at Sentinel High School talking to Mr. Curran.
Hi.
And we're going to be interviewing him on being a substitute teacher. Okay. Do you feel that students treat you differently that you're a substitute teacher?
Well, actually, there's an advantage in being at the same school quite often, that they get to know you and you get to know the students, so they behave much better than if you're at one school for one day and you're not there for a long time. I've been at Sentinel for quite a while, and I substituted in different classes here at Sentinel, so I don't have too much trouble.
Do you feel that it's going to be hard when you stop substitute teaching for such a long period of time and then going back to just one day substitute teaching? Do you feel that you'll still feel the same?
Sometimes. If you go to a third grade class, they're usually pretty good no matter what. Yeah. If you go to a high school you've never been to before and you're there for one day, it can be a little wild at times, but not often. Not too often, and I substitute so many times, and there's only 3 schools in Missoula, so I get to know a lot of kids at a lot of different schools.
What do you enjoy best about substitute teaching?
The kids. The kids are a lot of fun, and it's enjoyable working with them.
Okay, well, thank you for talking to us. Back to you.
I want everybody in town and everywhere to make me feel like I'm part of it. Part community, part family. I want people to love me and care for me a lot. I like to go for walks, go hiking.
Respect us, encourage us, and enjoy friendships with us. We add richness to the lives of those who know us.